Solve 2 to the power of x plus 2 to the power of 1 minus x is equal to 3. Well, the first thing that we're going to do is break up 2 to the power of 1 minus x to be 2 to the power of 1 divided by 2 to the power of x. Because we know that when we're dividing powers with the same base, we subtract the powers. So we're using that law in reverse by starting off with our subtraction of powers and bringing it into a division. So 2 to the power of 1 divided by 2 to the power of x would have given us 2 to the power of 1 minus x. We've done that law in reverse. So now we have 2 to the power of x plus 2 to the power of 1 divided by 2 to the power of x was equal to 3. So what I'm going to do is let 2 to the power of x equal y. So I'm swapping 2 to the power of x for y down here, and 2 to the power of x for y down here as well. And 2 to the power of 1 can just stay as 2. So, next what I'm going to do is make each term into a fraction. So y is going to be y over 1, 2 over y stays as 2 over y, and 3 is going to be 3 over 1. So I want to simplify the left-hand side of my equal sign. So I need to get a common denominator for 1 and y, and that's going to be y. 1 divides into y times, and y times y is going to be y squared. Y divides into y once, and 1 times 2 is just going to be 2. And 3 over 1 just stays as 3 over 1. Now that I have my left-hand side of my equal sign simplified and the right-hand side of my equal sign simplified, I can cross multiply. So y squared multiplied by 1 is y squared. 2 multiplied by 1 is 2. Bring down the equals. Y multiplied by 3 is 3y. Now I'm going to bring the 3y over the other side, so it becomes minus 3y. So I've got y squared minus 3y plus 2 is equal to 0. Now I have a quadratic that I can factorize. I open up my brackets. I bring down a y in the front of each bracket because I've got y squared. I see that this is positive, so I know these signs are the same. I see that this is negative, so they're both going to be negative. The factors of 2 are going to be 1 and 2, and minus 2 minus 1 gives me minus 3, so that works out. I can multiply this out just to check, am I right? Y by y is y squared, y by minus 1 is minus 1y, minus 2 by y is minus 2y, put them together to get minus 3y, minus 2 by minus 1 is plus 2. If y minus 2 is equal to 0, then y is equal to positive 2. If y minus 1 is equal to 0, then y is equal to positive 1. So, remember that earlier on we let 2 to the power of x be equal to y. So now we're going to swap them back. We're going to change the y for 2 to the power of x. And 2 is going to become 2 to the power of 1. And what I can see now is that I have the same base on either side. So I can cancel out the bases. And I can equate the indices. So x is equal to 1. And then I let y equal 2 to the power of x. And 1 I'm going to change as 2 to the power of 0 because I want my bases to match up again. And 2 to the power of 0 is going to give me 1. Anything to the power of 0 is going to give me 1. And again, I can see my bases match up, so I can cancel those out. And I equate my indices, so x is equal to 0. So I've got two values of x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 0. Now I'm going to substitute them into my original equation and check do they work out. Check does my equation balance. So my original equation was 2 to the power of x plus 2 to the power of 1 minus x is equal to 3. So I'm going to first off substitute in place of the x a 1 and a 1. So I get 2 to the power of 1 plus 2 to the power of 1 minus 1. So 2 to the power of 1 gives me 2. 2 to the power of 1 minus 1 gives me 2 to the power of 0. And 2 to the power of 0 is 1. So I get 2 plus 1, which does give me 3. And then 2 to the power of 0 gives me 1. 2 to the power of 1 minus 0 gives me 2 to the power of 1, which is just going to give me 2. And 1 plus 2 also gives me 3. Since both equations balance, I know that x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 0 is correct. So to summarise, I was asked to solve 2 to the power of x plus 2 to the power of 1 minus x is equal to 3. What I did was I rewrote 2 to the power of 1 minus x as 2 to the power of 1 divided by 2 to the power of x. I swapped every 2 to the power of x for a y. I then made each term into a fraction, and I simplified the left-hand side by getting a common denominator and getting one fraction, and I already had the right-hand side simplified. I cross-multiplied. I brought all my terms over to one side so that I had a quadratic. I factorized, I solved, and then at the end I swapped back the y for 2 to the power of x in both cases here. I changed the 2 for 2 to the power 1, the 1 for 2 to the power 0 so that my bases were matching. Then I cancelled out my bases and equated my indices. So I get x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 0.